Okay. Κάτσε να δούμε τώρα με το μικρόφωνο.
Νομίζω ότι απλά αυτό είναι για το... δεν είναι για τη μικροφωνική εδώ, είναι για το ίντερνετ. Θα είναι για το Zoom. Ακούγεται και από... Α, ναι. Α, μάλιστα. Τώρα είμαστε OK. Εντάξει.
Μισό λεπτό γιατί μιλάει σε φίλο. Έχω και το...
Μία. Εδώ.
All right, I believe we're finally ready to begin. Sorry to keep you waiting. We were setting up all presentations in the series. Just to start off, I would like to welcome you all to Greece, to Kalamata, to Pollinate project. Our the opening of the meeting is going to be conducted by Stathis Anastasopoulos, the Vice Governor of the Prefecture of Messenia. I welcome you as well.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. I would like to welcome also all of you, Kalamata and Messenia, and I'm wishing to everybody to have a nice time besides of the kickoff meeting. Anyway, it's with great pleasure and a strong sense of responsibility that I welcome you on behalf of the region of Peloponnese and the regional unit of Messenia to the kickoff meeting of the Pollinate project. An ambitious initiative addressing one of the most pressing environment challenges of our time, the ongoing decline of pollinator populations and its profound implications for biodiversity, sustainable agriculture, and the well-being of local communities. The region of Peloponnese, with its rich agricultural tradition, diverse landscape, and precise natural resources, is committed to being at the forefront of European development in the fields of environmental protection and sustainable rural development. Our participation in Pollinate is part of a broader regional strategy to integrate the objectives of the European Green Deal and the Farm to Fork strategy into our local policies and development agendas. A key instrument in this effort is the European Programs Office of the Region of Peloponnese, with actively plans, coordinates, and monitors our participation in interregional cooperation projects. Through this dynamic mechanism, our region not only follows European development, but also contributes to shaping them, ensuring access to founding know-how and best practices that enhance the effectiveness and resilience of regional governance. Projects such as Pollinate are of particular significance of Peloponnese, as them aim to connect biodiversity protection policies with the agri-food sector, forestry, sustainable tourism, and integrated local development. By fostering the exchange of knowledge with partners from 6 European countries, creating biodiversity living labs, and integrating transferable good practices. This project represents an excellent example of how European policies can be translated into tangible place-based strategies with measurable social, environment, and economic impact. I would like to warmly thank all project partners for their presence and contribution, as well as the staff of our European Programs Office, our advisors of Promea Consulting, for their effort in organizing and supporting the important meeting. I wish you fruitful discussion and a successful collaboration that will leave a meaningful legacy for our environment, our product, our producers, and our communities. Thank you all, and I'm sorry by my English. I hope that you understood everything which I said. And I'm saying again, have a nice time in this city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We can proceed. Yes. Yes.
Good morning. I share the slides in Greek and in English as well, so you can learn more the English languages today. My name is Marcos Legas, and I'm the head of the European Union Program Office of the region of Peloponnese. I'm also regional consigliere. Dear colleague, dear friends, it's a real pleasure and honor to welcome you today here in Kalamata, the kickoff meeting of the Pollinate project. As the head of the European Program Office of the region Peloponnese, I would like to start by saying how important this project is, not only for our region, but for Europe as a whole. Pollinators, bees, butterflies, and other species play a crucial role in the health of our ecosystem, our agriculture, and our economies. According to the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, about 75% of the world food crop depends at least in part on pollination. At the same time, reports by the International Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services show that 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat exist because of animal pollinators. But today, pollinators face serious threats: habitat loss, climate changes, pesticides, and pollution are putting many of these species at risk. In fact, the European Commission's biodiversity strategy for 2030 highlights that pollinator population have declined dramatically across Europe in recent decades. This is exactly where Pollinate comes in. Through this project, we will work together with partners from 6 European countries to exchange good practices and design better policies to protect pollinators and their habitats. And this is not just an environmental issue. Protecting pollinators means protecting our farmers' livelihoods, ensuring food security, supporting sustainable tourism, and keeping our natural landscapes alive and healthy for the next generations. The European Green Deal, the Farm to Fork strategy, and the EU Pollinator Initiative all place the biodiversity and pollinator protection at the heart of Europe's sustainable future. And for us, in the region of Peloponnese, this is an opportunity to link these European priorities with local action, to learn, to improve our policies, and to contribute actively to the common European effort. At the European Program Office of the region of Peloponnese, we believe that the European cooperation projects are more than funding opportunities. They are tools for learning, innovation, and building resilient and sustainable regions. This is why we work methodically to participate in projects like Pollinate, aligning them with our regional smart specialization strategy, RIS3, and our goals for green and sustainable development. I want to thank all our partners for joining us in this effort, and of course the colleagues from our regional services and Promea who support these initiatives. I truly believe that through Pollinate we will make a real, tangible contribution for our pollinators, for our farmers, for our rural landscapes, and for the people for our regions. I wish you a productive meeting and successful cooperation journey. Ευχαριστώ, which is English. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we can proceed now with the presentations from all of our partners. So if we can have the next presentation up. Μπορούμε να έχουμε την επόμενη παρουσίαση. So we can start with Baltic coasts.
Well, we expected to be fifth ones as we are fifth partners, but yes, let's start with us. So, well, Baltic coasts. Yes, my name is Aya Vanaga, and here is my colleague Elena Konstantinova, who also represents Association Baltic Coasts, and she's actually one of the lead person in our organization. And yes, it was quite stressful to start with as the first one, but yes. Well, regarding our organization, so we were founded in 2007, so we have some quite experience, and yes, we are located in Riga, in Latvia. And well, at the very beginning, we started with a focus on how to protect Baltic coasts from erosion, and this is why there comes our name, Baltic coasts. But then our expertise has been expanded, and we are still focusing on nature conservation and nature protection topics. But well, now we can proudly say that we work in more broader areas with climate change mitigation projects and biodiversity projects and ecosystem service assessments. And in Latvia, we are members of several advisory councils for one is this Environment Advisory Council of Ministry of Smart Administration and Regional Development. And the second one is Advisory Council of Latvia Environmental Protection Fund. And mostly we work with different kind of EU-financed projects and also with state-funded projects. We have many live program projects and several Interreg projects, not only European, but also Latvian, Estonian project, Interreg project. We work also with some scientific projects like Horizon Europe projects. And then, yes, the big effort is related with these educational activities and awareness raising. And of course, we believe in strong cooperation, and we work with policymakers and build communities and with business representatives and other organizations. Well, regarding our team and our expertise, so we gather our organization gather specialists like scientists and experts in many kind of fields related with nature conservation, like spatial and territorial planning experts, biodiversity experts, climate and resource policy experts, socioeconomic monitoring, etc. And of course, this is the also area of our expertise that we work with ecosystem service assessment, valuation of nature capital, and also this socioeconomic assessment. And yeah, well, these are only several projects that we are working with today. As I already mentioned, we have quite high experience in working with live projects, and these are only a few of them that we work with. In overall, we have 16 ongoing projects right now, not only a live project, but still there are bigger and smaller ones. But yeah, and those gray colored are those that have been successfully finished and have some kind of linkages with our this Pollinate project also. And yeah, and here are several projects that are directly related with this one that we are working where we are today now. So we have we work with nature conservation plans for Natura 2000 sites. We are finishing two conservation plans right now, that is Istra and Papa Lake. And right now we are starting two new ones. We are in the signing process for Babita Lake and Anguru Lake. Our experience in this project is also related with abandoned territories and those degraded territories. And here are some live projects that we had experience how to manage and how to work with degraded peatlands and how to restore them. So we have experience also in this kind of topics. And then one that also is ongoing is this nature-based solution live project, where we are implementing those solutions in urban areas with a primary aim to reduce heat islands and rain floods. But still, we are making some kind of solutions to build pollinator-friendly areas and to improve this biodiversity. And we strongly believe that collaboration and cooperation is the very how to say this the success yeah, how to succeed. So we have good collaboration and networking with governmental representatives and also NGOs and private sectors and of course researchers and yeah. And yeah, here is some slide that we also shared our values and experiences beyond our workplace. And besides our well, yes, all those activities are closely related with nature. So we enjoy not only our work, but also our free time in nature. So this was about us. Thank you.
Thank you. So the order of the presentations is not according to the partners series in the application form, just to keep the interest high. But I think we can proceed with the next one. Can we? Dinner in parks. Just to keep the interest high. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Να είστε καλά. Καλή συνέχεια.
Hello. My name is Jelena Marovic-Galic, and I come from Park Dinarides, Network of Protected Areas of Dinarides region. And today is with me is my colleague Dragana Jovanovic. She's F&A person in our organization. So next slide, or I'm okay. Oh, great. So Park Dinarides is also association like the Baltic Coast. It is organization created at the request of several protected areas managing body with mission to facilitate and coordinate the establishment of network of protected areas in our Dinarides region. For those who don't know what is Dinarides region, that is actually big, large mountain region that covering the territory of the Balkan countries. And it is a very mountain area with many mountain peaks over 2,000 meters. Our organization was founded in 2015 as a non-profit organization in accordance with the legislation of Montenegro, and it is based on membership. Also, our permanent secretariat is based in Montenegro, in Podgorica, and currently has 60 members, which managing 130 protected areas across the Western Balkan, and we have both terrestrial and marine protected areas. And our organization is unique in the Western Balkan context. We are only organization who are gathering the protected areas in the Balkan region. Our main goal of our organization is active participation in improving the protection, development, and management of protected areas. We also contributing to improving cooperation between protected areas, local government, and civil society organization. Regarding geographical coverage, we are operating in 8 countries. 2 of them are EU countries, that is Croatia and Slovenia, and that means that we have members from these countries, and the 6 countries, EU candidate countries. You can see from number 3 to 8, that is Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Albania, Kosovo, and North Macedonia. On this illustration, you can see the pins that represent the location of our members in our region. Also, if you know the political context, you can see that this is actually basically ex-Yugoslavia plus Albania here. So this is the area that we are covering. And I said that the secretariat of our network is based in the Podgorica in Montenegro, and the regional context is achieved through our managing board, which consists from eight members, and all members coming one from each countries. We have been established 10 years ago, and our work is actually focusing two approach. One is regional, and one is local, focusing on activities in Montenegro. And also, we are working and cooperating with a lot of different stakeholders, from the national government to the protected areas, also NGOs and local communities within the different countries. Also, over the 10 years, we gained experience in gathering diverse group of stakeholders for dialogue, primarily focused on sustainable nature resources, also organizing and facilitating roundtable discussion and regional conferences. This is actually one of our key activities, this regional conference that we are organizing together and to bring together protected areas from our region to discuss different topics and issues from joint interest. Also, we have experience in disbursement of funds and sub-granting through the grant program for protected areas. And also, we are facilitating knowledge experience exchange through the Western Balkan region. We also working in 4 thematic areas: biodiversity protection and development of protected areas, also sustainable development and quality of life, cooperation, and raising awareness. Regarding our role in this pollination project, if I get everything I try to summarize our role. So we will be involved in all these activities. This is mistake. We are not going to organize 6 regional stakeholders meetings. We are going to participate in 6 stakeholders meeting. So this is our role. And also regarding cross-cutting issue, we are going to collaborate with Ministry of Ecology, Sustainable Development and North Region Development of Montenegro. This is our associate policy authority. In the time of the project preparation, that was the Ministry of Tourism, Ecology and Sustainable Development. Now they have a different name, but this is actually the same institution. And regarding our expectation is to support Montenegro new biodiversity strategy by integrating pollinator protection into priority action, green infrastructure planning, and sectorial funding criteria. This is the the Montenegro biodiversity strategy is umbrella document in our environmental policy. This is the document that being in preparation. So we are a member of this working group for biodiversity strategy, and we are expecting that we will really influence this strategy through this project. So this is our main role and main interest in participating of this project. So also we hope that we will strengthen expertise in biodiversity and pollinator management through the exchange with EU partners, basically with you, and also apply proven approach to enhance the resilience of protected areas in safeguard native pollinator population. That is all from my side. Thank you.
Right. We are ready with the next one, please.
It's our time to present Promea from the lottery. I think it's okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexandros Georgiou. I will be the project manager for on behalf of Promea for the Pollinate project. With some of the partners who have collaborating in the past, or we're currently collaborating some other projects. So also I can see new faces. So I'm really excited to meet you all during the kickoff meeting. I would like also to thank the region of Peloponnese for hosting this kickoff meeting in this beautiful city of Kalamata. As you can see, the weather is really nice. So I hope that you will have some time to go around, and I don't know if you bring your swim, maybe you go to the sea for a swim, or I don't know. So let's not waste more time. Who we are. Promea is a non-profit organization with almost 20 years of experience in European funded projects. As you know, we're specialized in these EU funded projects, and especially in policy-oriented projects. A little more about us is that we are a component team around 35 persons. We have collaborations with many PhDs, also with spanning from different thematics, for example, from social inclusion, from social studies, until environmental mechanics, and etc. And of course, most of our revenue is from export of services. As you know, we are active in more than 25 projects, either as partners or either as externals. We're drafting proposals, so we have early focus on this. This is more our core activities. As you can see, we have since 20 We're working in more than 100 successful projects. As you can see, we can have expertise in secondary raw materials, data symbiosis, but not only in these environmental and industrial projects, but also in social, like women entrepreneurship, and it's a project in the third call from the Euro project. And of course, you can see here we are also have expertise in biodiversity protection, water management, and etc. We draft proposals in different kinds of in the regional cooperation projects. For example, the Europe's, Interreg Alpine, NextMed, and this is some of our key figures. What about the stats? I made this analysis, so I think this is the right numbers. I want to stress out that with these numbers, it's the dedication and all the hard work that our drafting teams are putting developing these proposals. As many of you know, these kind of proposals are really difficult and have a lot of hard work to be successful. So our team is really dedicated and have this professionalism to make this happen. And of course, it is also the help from the partners and the collaboration that were so successful. So it's important to strengthen these collaborations in the future. So a little bit about our network. As you can see, we have collaborating with more than 350 organizations. Many of them which we have established long term, and of course we are keep collaborating in new proposals. The biggest percentage about it's that we are collaborating with public authorities, as we're trying to, build their capacity in their institutional and processes, and we try this to assist them in improving their policies. And right now, we are collaborating with 150 partners across Europe. A little bit about our services. We have the whole aspect of a proposal. I mean, we start with the consortium building. Of course, we are on the same time drafting the proposals. We are making the budgets and, of course, all the economic and financial aspects of the project. And of course, either we're participating or we are participating as externals in order to contribute with provisions in proactive management and to have a smooth implementation of our projects. Here, just to stress out that our biggest aim is that we try to strive for knowledge. We try to make these proposals not just to be successful, but also to make some impact in Europe. We try to, as I said before, to assist the public authorities to improve their policies and their frameworks. So we are trying really hard to take all this knowledge and provide it to the public authorities and all our collaborators. And of course, we try to make as strong as possible the bond between our partners, because we believe in the partners that we are collaborating and that we have a really strong and a good bond. This is some of the European partners that we're participating. I will not go through all this. As you can see, we are collaborating with education and research institutes, also with main public authorities, and of course with other stakeholders and SMEs. Here also some other of our partners. I will go this. And for my last presentation, I have a few things about our role in Pollinate project. As advisory partner, we are here to assist you, to consult you, to be there for you regarding and during the duration of the project, in order to assist you with their policy changes that you will try to make in this project. In particular, for example, we'll provide a common assessment framework to assist partners evaluating and identified regional best practices. Here will be a framework that will give you the information about the transferability of these good practices. As many of you know that participating in the Inter-Europe enhances and stresses out that it's important to identify good practices from different countries and to be able to exchange these good practices in order to make to improvise and make better our policies, our regional policies. Of course, we will contribute to the organization of the peer review meetings. This will be in the fourth or fifth semester, I think, during both encore and follow-up phases. And of course, we will assist partners and we will make some analysis of the policy changes or evaluate the policy changes that you will try to do in your policy instruments. Of course, we will support partners in improving the regional policy in accordance with the European Commission's conservation plans for the pollinator species. And we'll have some advice and we'll provide you with some frameworks in order to be able to organize better your stakeholder meetings and, of course, your info days. Some actions that's really important because we need to engage more stakeholders. We need to engage the policymakers in order to make these policy changes happen. That's all for us. Also here today is with me Vasiliki Kostidou, the director of Romea, as you know well. And that is all. I hope that you enjoy this meeting. We have a lot to discuss today. And I'm really excited to meet you all during the day and we'll have some discussions and etc. So thank you very much. That is all for me.
All right, we can proceed with the next organization and the next presentation, please. Drum roll. All right, so let's go on with Professor Drenthe. I am keeping you on your toes, aren't I?
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Well, is it still morning? Good morning, everyone. I am Sarah. I am from the province of Drenthe in the Netherlands. I am here representing my colleague Mariette. So apologies if I'm don't know everything about the project. Well, this is the Netherlands, and the red part is the province of Drenthe. We are basically the regional government. We're hovering in between the national government and our municipalities. We have 12 provinces in total. And about Drenthe, we have 12 municipalities and about 500,000 inhabitants. We are quite a rural province. We don't have major cities. We have small cities and really small villages, so we have lots of space for nature still. We are a rainfall-dependent province and apparently a signatory partner in the European. Oh, this is still climate change? Damn. Ignore that. This is what we're going to do for the project. Our environmental code is a piece of policy in which we envision how our province should look in the next, 4 to 5 years. And that is something that we're going to focus on within the pollinator project as well. See if we can integrate more protection for pollinators and other things, I think. It is a program on biodiversity, of course. What is our current state of play? Well, the province of Drenthe, in Drenthe, we do a lot of different things. We have a lot of different themes like traffic and economy. We have tourism and we have social and cultural departments, but we are of the nature department. And then we have 3 different teams. We have the teams of Natura 2000 sites. We have one team that works on Nature Network Netherlands. That's basically to connect all the Natura 2000 sites because we have them everywhere, but there's no connection in between them. So we created a network. And then we have Nature Inclusive Drenthe, which is what me and Mariette are from. We are trying to improve nature outside of our nature reserves. And that's also what this is all about. We have a biodiversity of roadside working group in which we work with all our water boards and municipalities to improve the maintenance of our roadsides, especially mowing, ecological mowing. We're going to do a pilot with the Department of Waterways and Public Works and our province and our municipalities. That's because our roads, they're not necessarily owned by one partner. Usually they're owned by multiple partners. So if you want to maintain the entire road ecologically, you'll have to work together with a lot of different departments. And for us, we are also really trying to incorporate the basic quality of nature. That's, it's a term that ensures that the natural areas in your, what is it called? Rural areas outside of your nature reserves, that they meet the quality standard to support biodiversity. And that's something that we really try to incorporate in our policies within the province as well. So also in different departments, hopefully the people that need to incorporate things in our, wat zijn woonwijken? Suburbs, that they also put more nature and biodiversity within their planning, except, well, that's what we try to do. Planning, oh yeah, this is what we will be doing. We'll be participating in this project, and we will, organize a really nice workshop at a solar farm to see how they incorporated biodiversity for pollinator, especially, policies for pollinators. And these are our partners. Some of the municipalities, not all of them, I think. Some of the water boards. We have the butterfly, foundation. We have our landscape maintenance that really works with a lot of, wat zijn vrijwilligers? Volunteers. A lot of volunteers. And they work on the landscape, so they do a lot of maintenance with volunteers. We have Floron, that is our national, plant organization. They do a lot of research on plants, and they also maintain a lot of data banks, how it's going with our plants. The National Bee Strategy, they work with a lot of other companies, I think, to incorporate more greenery and stuff also on industrial sites, also for bees and other pollinators. We have the IVN, that's our nature education. They create, educational packages for the schools from, age 4 to 12? So they can go outside and they can learn about the nature and our ecosystem. And we have Green Circles, and I think that is an organization that works with municipalities and cities to create greener circles in suburbs and other things. And I think that was it for us. Yeah, but thank you.
Yes. Yan natin berasin. We will go on with a presentation from the LC. No. This was placed also last minute, so. But it found its place. So I'm not sure if I informed everyone. The reason we are putting presentations on top is so that it's not shown every time that somebody raises to the podium, that it's not shown in the online, in the live version of this session on YouTube. So we're trying to place the presentations remotely on the live session. And that's what we achieved so far, yeah, with this tiny little exception. Είμαστε, να έρθω. Ναι.
Oh, this is not the correct one. It's not the correct one. No. But it's not showing on the here.
I think our technicians will make
Oh,
you happy.
thank you. Thank you. So, hello to everybody from my side too. I'm Daria. My name is Daria, and I'm coming from Slovenia. I'm working for municipality of Mengeš, and I am new here at the municipality of Mengeš. I've started my position last week, so I'm really totally new. Because the municipality decided that need a person for that project. As I'm new here, also the municipality is new in this project. So please allow me to read because just like I said, I'm new. Okay. So the municipality of Mengeš is a young municipality, which is interesting for visitors, mainly because of its rich and diverse nature, numerous sports and cultural events, and its proximity to the capital. In 2023, the municipality has 8,187 inhabitants who live in the settlements of Mengaš, Loka pri Mengšu, Dobeno, Topole. The municipality of Mengaš celebrates the municipal holiday on May 29, which will be after my returning, the birthday of the writer Janez Trdina. Culture, nature, heritage, and sports are integrated to the fabric of our municipality. We recognize the importance of preserving and promoting our intangible cultural heritage, celebrating our local traditions, customs, and artistic expression. By supporting cultural events, exhibitions, and festivals, we aim to enrich the cultural experience of our community members and attract visitors to explore the diverse cultural tapestry of Mengaš. Additionally, we endeavor to provide a wide range of sports and recreational activities, ensuring that residents have access to top-notch facilities and programs that promote a healthy and active lifestyle. Beekeeping holds a special place in the cultural and environmental identity of the municipality of Mengaš. For over 20 years, the local beekeeping association has actively preserved and promoted the tradition of caring for Carniolan bees, which are native to Slovenia. One unique expression of this heritage is the painted beehive panel, colorful wooden planks that adorned beeves and originated in the 18th century in the Slovenian Alpine region. These panels, often painted by ordinary people, depict scenes from daily life, folklore, and religion. Today, they remain cherished as folk, art, and souvenirs, symbolizing the deep-rooted relationships between Slovenians and bees. In Mengaš, these traditions continues to thrive, reflecting the municipality's dedication to biodiversity, sustainability, and intangible cultural heritage. One of our key areas of activities is to establish an enabling framework that encourages environmental practices and fosters a sustainable lifestyle among our residents. We aim to promote eco-friendly initiatives such as renewable energy adoption, waste reduction, and efficient resource management. By implementing innovation solutions and engaging the community, we seek to create a harmonious balance between economic growth and environmental preservation. Sustainable mobility and transport are also paramount in our vision. We aim to develop an efficient and accessible transportation system that reduces reliance on private vehicles. By promoting public transport cycling infrastructure and pedestrian-friendly initiatives, we strive to enhance mobility options for residents and visitors alike, while reducing carbon emissions and traffic congestion. Culture, art, tourism, and sports, as mentioned before, are integral to the fabric of our municipality. We recognize the importance of preserving and promoting our intangible cultural heritage, celebrating our local traditions, customs, and artistic expressions. By supporting cultural events, exhibitions, and festivals, we aim to enrich the cultural experience of our community members and attract visitors to explore the diverse cultural tapestry of Mengaš. Additionally, we endeavor to provide a wide range of sports and recreational activities, ensuring that residents have access to top-notch facilities and programs that promote a healthy and active lifestyle. Infrastructure development is a crucial aspect of our vision. We are committed to providing reliable and efficient infrastructure, including water and sewerage systems, transportation networks, connectivity, and also infrastructure for raising quality of living. By investing in robust infrastructure, we aim to enhance the quality of life for our residents and create a solid foundation for economic growth and development. A clean and sustainable environment is a priority to the municipality of Mingash. We are dedicated to implementing comprehensive waste management strategies, including efficient solid waste collection, recycling programs, and environmental education initiatives. Through community engagement and cooperation, we seek to create a cleaner and healthier living environment for everyone. Lastly, we recognize the importance of fostering economic development within our municipality. We aim to attract and support business that align with our values of sustainability, innovation, and social responsibility. By promoting entrepreneurship, providing business incentives, and nurturing a conducive environment for economic growth, we aim to create employment opportunities, enhance the local economy, and improve the overall well-being of our community. In conclusion, the municipality of Mangash envisions a future where sustainability, culture, and economic prosperity coexist in harmony. Through our focus on environmental stewardship, sustainable and green tourism, sustainable mobility, cultural preservation, infrastructure development, waste management, and economic growth, we strive to create a vibrant and thriving municipality that is cherished by its residents and admired by visitors. A local community is more than just a place of residence. It's a community of people who live better by connecting and cooperating. Thank you.
We're just gonna switch computers real quick.
Hello again. My name is Katerina Papadopoulou. Yes. No, I'm checking. So let me present the role of the region of Peloponnese in the Pollinate project. You know, the region is the lead partner, so we'll be responsible for the overall coordination of the Pollinate project. That means first work plan implementation, and secondly, financial compliance. The lead, as a lead partner, will support other partners to improve their land management and respective regulation in favor of pollinators. And also, we support other partners to employ climate forecast to define preventive policy measures. The region of Peloponnese implement the project will acquire knowledge and capacity regarding in digitalization, data-driven biodiversity governance, greening the agri-food and tourism supply chain, green nature-based and biodiversity-friendly lighting infrastructure, mitigating tourism impact, and valorizing territorial risk potential while conserving pollinators. As a region of Peloponnese, we have a deep experience in different European Union projects. Many of them, we are lead partners. In other, we are just participating as a partnership. Right now, we are running 16 different projects. and we are transfer experience to our project on land planning, on land use management, climate vulnerability mitigation in biodiversity hotspot, sustainable tourism, competitiveness of agri-food SMEs, energy efficiency for buildings, low carbon mobility services and infrastructure, extensive regional climate change adaptation plan has been already developed. Not to waste, just to present the other project is not necessary now. And thank you very much for your attention.
Good morning, and Evcharisto for your hospitality.
Oh, it's okay.
My name is Tine Ketelaars. I work for the province of West Flanders. I brought my colleague, Wouter Vuilsteke, who's over there, the man with the beard. We represent the province of West Flanders, which is, can I just go to the next slide? Which is situated over there, as you see, in between several countries, France, Germany, Luxembourg, and, well, also Great Britain. Obviously, we are a small province at the coast, so we also have sea, but not such a visible, beautiful seaside. It's a bit colder, but it's nice nonetheless. These are a few numbers for the people of you who like to read numbers. Interesting for this project would be the 62 municipalities we have, so that would be the impact we can reach. They represent about a bit more than 1,200,000 inhabitants. So that is the amount of people we can reach through this project. Of course, we can reach more people because we also have cooperation with other provinces. There is 10 provinces. Oh, I'm sorry. So I will not go into depth to these, but you can just see the numbers there. We are just like the province of Drenthe. We are not a municipality, but a regional authority. So we represent several municipalities, 62, but we are not a federal government. That gives us the advantage of being close to people, but still have a lot of leverage and impact. It's a beautiful place to be. These are our stakeholders in terms of impact from the project. We can reach to the whole quadruple helix. We can reach several governments, nature organizations as well, knowledge institutions, companies. We also have several agencies working towards different stakeholders. And we have, of course, the citizens. Within this project, we will be responsible for the communication activities. We will also organize a site visit to one of the pollinator parks in Belgium. We will be happy to show you around and exchange knowledge. And we will also organize living labs. In fact, this is a picture of one we did lately, a few weeks ago. To engage people in policies concerning pollinator restoration theory. So this is our role within the project. And these are my contact numbers. I also have cards, so should you have any more questions, please do not hesitate to contact me or Wouter. We will be happy to answer and discuss. And I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you. So thank you.
Το πιάσα εκεί. Το κάναμε, το έκανε format. Δώσω στο κατευθείαν στον κύριο Μητροφανασά.
Θέλετε να μου πείτε λίγο ποια ανοίγουμε.
Είναι το work plan και μετά έχουμε, ναι, και μετά έχουμε το break. Είμαστε ok. Σας έχω στείλει την επόμενη, το email. Εντάξει.
Hello again. What? Yeah. Feel the logo, but hello again. In this presentation, we'll see some of objectives and we have an overview of our Pollinate project. Many of the issues about the Pollinate also has been stressed by the region previously. In these presentations, we have some statistics and what's the issue addressed and what was the purpose that we developed this proposal and why are we here today. We will see the project objectives and some key facts and figures about our project. And we will focus and we'll give a special focus in the policy improvements that we're currently we will have to do during our project. What is the theme and what is the focus from the Inter Europe and what we have to do as partners, and especially the partners that are addressing their policy instruments in order to make their policies better and to improve their frameworks. Of course, we have some slides. I have some slides about our implementation approach. I focused mainly in the exchange of experience activities, which you have a lot of activities there regarding the exchange of good practices. We have some really interesting site visits and study visits, as our previous partners stressed. And of course, some KPIs, but this will be the last slide of my presentation. So I will begin with some stats. As you know, there is a rapid decline in pollinators in European regions. We have really about 50% of decline. And this is really important because, as you can see, pollinators contribute approximately to 15 billion annually to the EU economy. So, and especially in agriculture, food, and tourism value chains. So it's really important to address this issue. This decline threatens not only the local but the regional economies, and I said that I tied to agriculture and natural ecosystems. Several actions have been initiated by the European Union as the European Union Pollinators Initiative, and of course the New Deal for Pollinators. But as we saw from some previous presentations, some parties will try to change their priorities in their policy instruments to enhance the biodiversity of pollinators. So about our project objectives, what is the aim of our project? The aim is to advance territorial biodiversity policies by improving the effectiveness of existing policy tools, like our policy instruments, linked to pollinators management and conservation pollinate. Mainly, with this project, we will try to introduce a pollinator management principles, environmental restoration, and land use planning. We'll try to foster the convergence of climate change adaptation and biodiversity policies, and of course, bolster pollinator protection within agri-food, forestry, and tourism supply chains. Also, it's very important to address this issue not only because, and maybe I want to stress out that how important is to make this changes in pollinators management plans through the climate change adaptation plans, because climate change is here and it's a big factor of this decline in pollinators. And it's really important to focus in these priorities in order to improve the situation. Some about our project. As you can see, the title is Improving Territorial Policies to Address the Decline of Pollinators. Our duration will be 4 years. The official start of our project was 1st of May, and will be 4 years until the 31st of July to 2029. We are under the policy objective 2, Greener Europe, and our specific objective is nature and biodiversity. The lead partner is the region of Peloponnese, and our budget is approximately around 1.5 million. In this slide, I would like to show you and to discuss a little bit about the intervention of the intervention logic of Inter-Europe. As you know, our main activities is interregional cooperation, and through this cooperation, we try to learn from other regions, from other countries. So through our activities, we'll exchange experiences, we'll discuss challenges, and of course, we will identify and exchange good practices from each region. This will lead to the public authorities and all the stakeholders participating to improve their skills, to increase their capacity, and of course, to increase their policy-making capacity. It's important to engage and to try to motivate the policymakers to participate in our project and, of course, promote our solutions, our improvements to them in order to be able to influence the policy instruments. Of course, after we identified and discuss and evaluate the good practices, we will conclude it to our best practices that will be able to be adapted by other regions, to be able to transfer from one region to other. This is the main cooperation that the Inter-Europe wants to see from our project. And of course, all this will lead to our big aim, which is the policy improvement, which is a partner that addresses the policy instrument needs to have in mind to make some policy improvements, to make some influence in their policy instrument. So, what are the types of the policy improvements that we would like to make happen? And of course, what the Inter-Europe wants from our project? There are 3 types of policy improvement. The first one is that through the policy improvement will be new projects or initiatives. For example, a region implements a new funding scheme for SMEs after learning about successful model from another partner region. For example, there is a good practice here in the region of Peloponnese that supports and financially with some new initiatives the SMEs of pollinators. Maybe another region will take this idea, will take this good practice and make a new project in their region. This is the first type of policy improvement. The second one is the improved governance. This is more about the enhancements in the management or implementation processes of existing policy instruments. For example, it's that the managing authority from a policy instrument adopts a new monitoring system to better evaluate the impact of its innovation programs. This would be a methodology, or I don't know, maybe some new policy tools that will make in this project. So this that the managing authority can adopt it and of course make these changes. The last one is a structural change. This is some revisions to the policy instrument, new revisions that such as changes in the objectives or the priorities or the overall strategy. For example, a region revises the regional development strategy to incorporate sustainability goals influenced by best practices shared during the project. As you can see, we will see always the 2 words best practices. This is mainly the core of the Inter-Europe. We have to identify and always keep searching for good practices. We'll discuss later also. The LP will have some information on this, but during the project, during the exchange of experience activities, you will see that we'll have information and we'll have to make this good practices. We have to identify more good practices. Here is the 6 policy instruments that will be addressed in this project. As you can see, we have several regional programs, operational programs, or some funding plans. As you can see here, we have the Greece, which is the regional program from 2021 to 2027 Peloponnese, which is the name of the policy responsible for. This is the region of Peloponnese. But we have also 3 partners that will not direct address their policy instrument. They will change, they will address their policy instrument through their policy authority partners. So it's important for these partners to include in the future activities stakeholders from their policy associated partners. So in this one, I tried to gather information from application form. This is a tip that I would like to share with you. It's that the application form holds and has all the information about your policy instrument. So it's important each partner to go to the specific section, the section D in the application form, which for each partner it's described in detail, describes what is the current policy instrument for each partner, what are the priorities, what are the current situation, and of course what are the expected types of policy improvements for each partner. I know that project which lasts 4 years, it's a dynamic project and many changes will happen, or maybe some of the initial expected types of policy improvements will not be able, or will face some difficulties, but we have to focus on these types. For example, I have put for each partner what type of expected policy improvements we're waiting. For example, from the region, from the LP, we will be waiting new projects financed by the instrument and change the management of the instrument. For another example, from Promise of West Flanders, we wait through the application form. As you can see, we have information about to make and the 3 expected types of policy improvement. But my advice here that each partner take some time, go through application form. It's really important to know this information because you will work on this type of improvements, gaining the information from the activities and from all the results. Of course, our role here as advisory partners to assist you on this, to support you, but each partner should be able and has to know about their policy instrument and the changes that we're expecting to make in this project. A few words about our project structure. These are the 3 pillars of our project. This is exchange of experience, the communication, dissemination, and the project management. Both 3 pillars is very important, and it's the foundation of our project. We'll have more information about the exchange of experience in the next slides, but also communication dissemination is very important in our project. As you know, through social media, through websites, in this digital age that we are living, it's very important to make efforts. All partners have to do this, not only our communication manager. All partners have to contribute to the communication dissemination. More information will follow in next presentations, but I would like to stress this thing. And of course, the project management, the basic and the whole coordination of the project of the Pollinate project will be under the region of Peloponnese. But also each partner will have to make this day-to-day tasks and day-to-day communication. So it's important to establish a good communication between us in order to be able to address any issues or any problems, or just to discuss, all the results. Regarding the exchange of experience, our project approach, we have 4 categories. Is the exchange of best practices, the capacity building workshops, site visits, and living labs, the stakeholder policy learning, and peer reviews. In the first task, basically are activities that focus on the knowledge exchange. For example, there will be some methodologies that will be shared within the partners, and partners should go and find and identify or search for their territorial evidence, good practices, and etc. So in order to be able to gather this information as an initial step. The second one is the capacity building workshops, site visits, and live labs. This is about, in order to gather, either as in a workshop or in a study visit, in order to exchange knowledge between us partners, but of course with our stakeholders. In this activity, all partners have to bring their stakeholders. It's important there, the stakeholders, to be thematic related with biodiversity and pollinators, but it's important to bring these stakeholders in order to be able to transfer all this knowledge. As we saw earlier, the intervention logic of Inter-Europe is this, to exchange information and good practices between experts. And the third task is the stakeholder policy learning. This is about the partners that addressing a policy instrument. In each semester, the partners have to organize each partner has to organize one stakeholder meeting. These meetings are, we'll have more time to discuss later because I have made a presentation about this. But a few words now is that in these meetings, each partner tries to engage and gather their stakeholder meeting from their region, from their countries, in order to engage them in our project, in order to make them participate in the capacity building workshops, and of course, to take their feedback or provide our results in order to be able to proceed with the policy improvements. The last task is the peer reviews. There we have all the lessons learned and the recommendations that will be derived by our results and from the previous activities. There we have the time to evaluate our results, to see if we managed to make some policy changes, or if these policy changes that each partner will try to make is good, is enough, and if there are any other further assessments will be needed. Regarding the first task, this is the three activities that will have an exchange of best practices. This exchange and analysis of the best practice of land planning and regulation, best practice in promoting nature-based and green infrastructure solutions, and exchange of experience to enact the extensions of the spatial protection and special conservation areas. These three activities is in this exchange of best practices. As I said, in these activities, more or less, each partner will try to find the research information from their countries, bring it together to discuss it, either in online meetings or either in on the development of reports, and then we will have this information in order to use it in the capacity building workshop and site visit, which is the next. Oh, sorry, the next slide is about the stakeholder meetings, and in this slide we have all the workshop and study visits. As you can see, are many, so we'll have time also to travel to other countries and to meet different stakeholders and of course the countries. But in this, as you can see, and also as some of the previous partners stated, that we'll have some very interesting site visits and workshops, and all the information that will be derived will be very important for our project. And for this, we have, regarding the peer reviews, we have two activities. The activity 11, which is living labs to engage community in biodiversity governance, and of course peer review meetings of Pollinate partners, territorial policy changes. These are the last of our activities. This is where, as I said before, we will try to assess and to evaluate all the results that they will be derived from our project. In this final slide, I have put some of the KPIs that you can also find in the application form. These KPIs, I would like to give more attention in this one. This is number of good practice identified, which is we have a target of 30. As I said before, the Inter-Europe wants to see from their projects this type of cooperation exchange of good practices. So it's important to work on this. More information about how we can gather and identify these good practices will be shared, this knowledge, later in the other, of course, presentations. And of course, the number of organizations cooperating across borders, we have a target of 63. This is not an obligation. This KPI is not so strict from the Inter-Europe, but we have to make efforts to reach these numbers, because at the end of the core phase, and especially the semester 8, the Inter-Europe will come to us and will ask what are the results, how many organizations, cooperation across borders we managed to engage. And so this is for later information, but have in mind that's all for me from now. Again, please go through the application form. It has all the information about the instruments, about the objectives, about the work plan, what kind of activities. It's really dense information, but it has all the information there. And of course, whenever you have a question, you can email us or me or the partner, or we're here to support you. And of course, if you have any questions now or later, we'll be here to discuss it with you. Yes. Yes, here. It's well, I don't think that we have this type of coding in
We'll explain
in
more
application
next
form,
presentation.
but I just put it there just to for this presentation. But I think that the rest of the there's specific section in the application form that make these three types of the project culture. For example, we have the exchange of experience or the activities that are related with the good practices and etc. We have the communication dissemination and the project management of. But I put this type of terminology for this presentation only.
Makes sense. These are the specific objectives. They will lead to specific results.
Yeah, This through this, especially through the exchange of experience activities, will go to the KPIs that I showed later here. But this information is the application has this information, so we can discuss it later in more details. If I understood your question right, but any other question that arose? No? Okay, but will be available today and of course through my emails. We'll exchange the information, and whenever you have any question or some inquiries, you will be able to email me or discuss later, etc. So thank you. Yeah, of course. Sorry, Fisher?
So online platform for the projects, when will be kept?
So I can take that if I may. So hello from me. Actually, this is one of the tasks to be fulfilled during the first semester. So this online collaborative platform is something that we will begin working on, and it is due in the first months of the project. And actually, we have more information for this specific issue in tomorrow's presentations when we discuss the project management of the project. And we have the name of the platform and how it works and why we chose that specific platform. So bear with us. We have all the information needed.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
And it's good now. So thank you. And
Finally, with the work plan of the project. So just to remind everyone, my name is Katerina Papadopoulou. I'm on from the region of Peloponnese, the technical advisor, and I'm here for you throughout the whole project. Whenever we need something or you have questions, I'm your person. Now, to get back to the question from West Flanders, just for the quick overview of the project, there are 3 pillars we have in this project. The first one is exchange of experience activities. The second one is for communication and dissemination, and the third one is for the project management activities. So what it all entails, we'll go through it in detail in the next presentation as well. And that means that each pillar contains certain activities. That might mean best practices or creating reports and guidelines, or that might mean having workshop site visits and any type of visit. Communication and dissemination, as you well know, you were the lead partner for that. And the third one from the project management, we have also more information in the coming presentations as well. Let's go through the first pillar for the exchange of experience activities. And we go for the A1 category, what in the AF is named joint analysis and reports. For this category, we have 2 activities in the first semester. Activity 1, titled Exchange and Analysis of Best Practices on Land Planning and Regulation. And activity number 2 is a workshop on biodiversity anticipatory planning in view of climatic alteration patterns. For both activities, the leader is the region of Peloponnese. And the region is going to be responsible for running, hosting, giving all sorts of instructions and directions. Last but not least, in the semester, we have the A2 category, the stakeholder policy learning, and this contains the regional stakeholder meetings. For each of these, we have more details coming up. But just to give a quick overview, activity number 1 has 2 major objectives, and this is to optimize the partner's decision-making process for zoning, permit granting, and land use conflict management. And this is going to be conducted by revising their own biodiversity criteria and trying to integrate pollinator protection provisions. Second objective is to address the fragmentation of pollinators' habitat by exchanging best practices from their own territories and also regulation policies regarding zoning, permit granting, and land use conflict. Again, we will give more information about what each objective entails and why, and how we're going to achieve each and every one of them. But the steps to reach our goal is by the region of Peloponnese to provide an input paper on research guidelines and also provide the partners with data collection forms so they can give their own input from their own territories and regions. ProMEA is going to help the region of Peloponnese and all partners by providing an assessment of guidelines, including criteria for the transferability potential of good practices. And that means that we will be able to rank and evaluate good practices from each region, and we're going to have guidelines and the criteria to do so. Again, all partners will help out by providing their own input, their own evidence from their own regions. And region of Peloponnese thus is responsible for organizing a virtual meeting in which all partners are required to participate. And finally, we will have a good practices guide, and we will have all the above, the aforementioned information included. That means what was conducted in the workshop, what best practices were exchanged, etc. The second activity regarding the workshop on biodiversity anticipatory planning in view of climatic alteration patterns. Again, the leader is the region of Peloponnese. This specific activity has, again, 2 objectives. The first one is to increase the potential of partners to conserve and protect pollinators that are under threat. And this will be conducted due to forthcoming variable climate alterations in their own regions, and to support them in prioritizing policy measures on the basis of different forecasting scenarios. For this purpose, the steps to be taken is, again, region of Peloponnese providing data collection forms and an input paper on the researched guidelines. We will also provide the timeline for all of these, organize a virtual meeting where all partners are required to participate, and finally, have a summary report providing all information from the workshop conducted. The last category of regional stakeholder meetings, although the region of Peloponnese is not a direct activity leader per se, they have a more leading role due to the fact that they are the lead partner. And the objective is to ensure and secure that we have an active participation and involvement of all required stakeholders in the development and the implementation of the regional action plans, gather and exchange their insights and inputs, and be able to use this input and insight into the policy improvement process. For this reason, PROMEA will provide all of us with a common framework for the organization of the regional stakeholder meetings. All partners are required to organize their own stakeholder meetings. Sorry, I'm short. I'm not sure you can see me very well, but I'll move around. Yes, again, so all partners are required to organize their first stakeholder meeting, and for this meeting, produce a summary paper. All except PROMEA, since they have provided the information for this, and Region of Peloponnese is responsible for the stakeholder meetings. Going forward with the second pillar, communication and dissemination. For this pillar and this project, the province of West Flanders is responsible, is the leader. And as for all activities, we will provide this this table explaining and listing all required steps to be taken, not only by the leader, province of West Flanders, but also by all partners. So for that matter, the province of West Flanders will provide all partners with a communication plan. Of course, all partners are required to provide input for this. Also, the project branding toolkit will be developed by West Flanders, as well as the kickoff teaser video. We will take pictures for this to be included in the video. So wear your best smile. The project website and the social media pages will be set up, and all partners are required to also provide content and share within their own portals these publications, and to their own target groups. West Flanders will develop the electronic materials such as the brochure for the project, the poster, and the videos, not only in the first semester, but moving on forward. And all partners will be required to translate and localize their material. During the first semester, we will develop, or province of West Flanders will develop their first newsletter. And all partners are required to disseminate and carry out this campaign at their own territorial level. And all of the partners are required to participate in 1/3 and we will go through this procedure in tomorrow's presentations, and we will explain all step by step. Regional Peloponnese is also responsible for providing this operational work plan, which is practically this list in a file, this list of deliverables, activities, steps to be taken by all partners. And you will receive it throughout our first semester in the coming weeks, as a matter of fact. The region is responsible, obviously, for all activities monitoring and input provision for the first project progress report, and obviously the day-to-day coordination in the first and the coming semesters, and organizing and hosting this event, the kickoff meeting, including agenda and minutes. And of course, all of you are required, and thank you for participating. So the work plan, the operational work plan, will be looking a bit like this, as you can see in the slide. Again, just to give a quick example, activity, for instance, number 1 is Region of Peloponnese responsibility. The file will give us the category in each where each activity belongs. If there is a dependency, and of course the foreseen start, you see month 2, and the deadline for each activity you see here for the first activity is the 3rd month. So the project is beginning in the 1st of May 2025, ending 31st of October 2025. So when we say month 1 is May, month 6 is October for this project. Again, all activities for the first semester when it comes to the exchange of experiences category are listed here. Just a quick overview as well of the communication and dissemination activities listed for the first semester also here. And of course, again, the file will be shared with you in full detail, not only for the first semester, but throughout the whole project. And last but not least, the project management deliverables, activities, and tasks are listed. And obviously, if you have any kind of questions, we can go through it. Now, for the first semester, we have prepared a table, because when you receive the final file, you will be able to list semester and your organization, and then you will end up having a table looking like this for each category, a similar list. The region of Peloponnese has activities in all 3 categories. And obviously, they look a little bit different for each and every partner. But you're more than welcome to filter the file and have this exact same list. We have prepared this table for all partners. Just to give a quick example, the region of Peloponnese organizes workshops, participates in online meetings, provides the input paper for the first activity, but also in the communication and dissemination category, provides input and will deliver social media content, will translate the material, and will also perform online and social media campaign. Moving on to the province of Drenthe, it looks a little bit different since they have their own activities to participate. For instance, participation in the online meeting and participation in the workshop of activity 2. They will organize in their part the first regional stakeholder meeting, and they will draft a summary report for that meeting. And respectively, for the communication dissemination activities, they have their own input and role. The project management table and tasks are going to be looking a bit similar for all partners, since they will monitor their activities in order to provide input for the first progress report and the participation in the kickoff meeting. So it would look a little bit similar, so that I don't repeat myself throughout all partners. Moving on to West Flanders, the province of West Flanders, the categories of exchange of experience and the project management look a bit similar to Drenthe's, but of course they have a bit of extended list for the communication and dissemination, since they are the leader of this task. As mentioned earlier, their tasks are listed here. Menges again has tasks throughout all categories, looking pretty similar to the previous province of Drenthe. Again, organizing their meeting, participating in workshops, gathering evidence in their own territories, and having a summary paper for each stakeholder meeting. Again, they will translate all the material, deliver content for social media, provide their own input, and the similar project management activities. Again, the same for Association of Baltic Coasts, similar activities for exchange of experience and communication and dissemination, as well as the project management. And for the Parks of Dinarites, we have again the 3 basic pillars and their respective activities. If you want me to analyze anything further, let me know. Again, Promea has its own list. It looks a little bit different because it will provide the assessment of the guidelines and provide us all with a criteria for the transferability potential of good practices. We will analyze this in activity 1, what this entails. It will be participating in online meetings. Promea will also gather its own evidence. provide us the framework for the organization of the regional stakeholder meetings, so we can have some input on how to do this. Again, communication and dissemination looks a little bit similar, and the project management tasks as well. And I hope I didn't take too long. Let me know if you have any questions. No? All right. According to our agenda, we're not far out. Yes. Yes. This will be mentioned in the operational work plan, yes. So the operational work plan actually will have the So yeah, the question was whether we will have the dependencies listed in the operational work plan. And yes, it will be one of the categories, one of the columns of the file. And for all semesters, there will be the dependencies. Yeah. Pleasure. We good? All right, so we're not far out of when it comes to the agenda, amazingly enough. We have now the coffee break and networking activities. We have around half hour, so we should be back around 11:20, 11:23, 24, so we don't get too late. 20 it is. Sorry, yes, 12:20, my bad. 11:50 till 12:20. We will proceed with the first activities of the first category, joint analysis and reports. And we'll have only 3 of those, and then we will go for a lunch break. Okay? Sasha. To continue? Yes. Yes? I think we're waiting for a last one to arrive. Oh, it's me again.
So are you ready?
Of course. Ready whenever you are. Okay, excellent. So if we are all ready to go on, we have a more detailed analysis of the activity 1, titled Exchange and Analysis of Best Practices on Land Planning and Regulation, where the activity leader is the region of Peloponnese. And I will do the presentation as a technical advisor of RegPel, of the region of Peloponnese. Let's start by just mentioning what are the deliverables going to be for this activity. And we have one methodology for guidelines regarding mapping territorial best practices to address the fragmentation of pollinator habitats through land planning and regulation. And we have as well a best practices guide on land planning and regulation in order to reinforce the pollinator habitats connectivity across the regions of partners of the Pollinate project. Obviously, the first activity is going to take place in the first semester. And as I mentioned earlier, this begins in May 2025. We're in this month now, and ends October 2025 on the 31st. Now, just to give a little bit of input on what we mean with each phrase of data collection and background collection and thematic information. So the aim of gathering best practices, of collecting best practices, is to try and mitigate the fragmentation of pollinator habitats. And we will do that by collecting best practices from each region of each partner, of each country, on land planning and regulation policies. The way to achieve this and the way to do this is by trying and creating green corridors in between the habitats of pollinators and smaller buffer zones for them to be able to exist, recreate, feed themselves. We want to ensure the pollinators' access to water reservoirs So smaller or bigger water bodies for them to be able to travel, have the fuel to move from one territory to the next. And obviously, integrate the pollinator species surveys into planning permission processes. This is something that we need to incorporate into future making policies and in our policies instruments. How are we going to collect our best practices? So Region of Peloponnese RegPel, as the activity leader, is responsible for providing an online questionnaire to all partners in order for them to evaluate and rank the most effective measures. So this means that the partners will have first exchanged best practices that they have found as effective, as conductive in their own regions and territories. And the rest of the partners will be able to evaluate and rank the ones they think are most effective. So Region of Peloponnese will address the data collection survey to the rest of the partners. And partners will be also provided with a certain tool and criteria to be able to rank in an easier way and in a more effective way the best practices that are put on the table. Again, there will be a comparative analysis of the data, and this way we will be able to identify better the gaps and needs of each territory and region. And of course, there will be recommendations on partners' policy interventions in order to advance the habitats of pollinators' connectivity through their policy instruments, which I think is the most important one, the recommendation on how to move forward. The report itself, the best practices report, will document the exchanged best practices, the territorial best practices exchanged in between the partners. We, as Premier, will provide us with the transferability potential of the criteria on which we will rank the best practices, such as the relevance, the adaptability to regional needs, and the scalability. We will able to rank them, and we will see an online exchange of findings in between the partners. There will be an analysis of the collected evidence and the best practices stated on land planning and regulation. Partners will be aided in order to direct their policy interventions, in order to be able to intervene and be fast and efficient, and obviously as an ultimate goal, to advance the pollinator habitats connectivity. So this is what we're looking for to have as a final result in the best practices report. And through this learning process, the outcome, the anticipated result we would like to see is for partners to gain a better insight on how to optimize their decision-making processes when it comes to zoning, permit granting, how it should be done, and land use conflict management, which is something we expect to happen. And also, as an outcome, we would like to have integrated protection provisions by revising biodiversity criteria when it comes to each of the partners' territories and regions. Now, you will hear me stressing this out multiple times throughout the following presentations, that it is quite important for all partners to be able to conduct their tasks and provide their deliverables on a timely manner so that we are able to follow our time plan and our work plan in time for the submission of our progress reports and to explain that we've conducted everything on time as we should when talking to the JS. It is important for us to have concluded our activities, and it is important for us to do it and not wait until obviously the last moment to provide our deliverables, our tasks, our input, so to make everyone's life easier. So for this specific activity, we would like by the end of June 2025 for partners to receive the methodology for collecting the best practices, so that we have time in between July and August 2025 to have the online questionnaire out for partners to rank and evaluate the best practices. And again, after getting all the results we should be able to have the best practices guidelines by September 2025. And this is important because as stated, the semester will end by October 2025. Now, the region of Peloponnese is a public organization. Obviously, they will need time to have the external partnership ready, but we have assigned this to not get more than a few weeks of delay in our schedule, and hoping to having everything in place and as planned. Let me know if you have any questions. Yes. Well, the thing is that we would like to see for all partners what kind of best practices they have found in their countries to be working. So to aid this whole purpose of seeing how to advance the connectivity of pollinators' habitats. So we would like to see what you think is most efficient in your area, in your region, and again, receiving the same type of information from all partners, and then we can rank what we think is more effective, as said, because not all best practices or good practices are going to be able to be transferred, because each region has its own characteristics, right? So we would like to see which ones we can actually share, which ones can actually be transferred, which ones we can copy in a way that we can enjoy the good results from. So this is a process that will take time. It will take time to analyze all the input that we receive from partners in order to decide, and for the partners as well to decide how to evaluate the best practices that they are receiving as well, in order to give out the most efficient and effective ones. Yeah.
This activity focuses on land planning, but it's important that we understand what you mean by land planning.
Yes.
So when you set out your guidelines, when you set out surveys,
Yeah.
you need to define what you mean by land planning.
Obviously, yeah, sure thing.
Is it spatial planning, as in where will we allow people to build? Where will we allow industry to come? Is that what you mean by land planning?
Yes. So in order to land planning may be
that now, but you need to be.
No, but I can give a constructive example of how I understand it, at least at this early stage. So in my understanding, we will need, for instance, some kind of permission to create new parks or enlarge existing ones, or for instance, see in our urban planning, if you will, which areas should be reduced or enlarged in terms of buildings, which areas should be allowed to create these green corridors and the buffer zones. Because as we said, we need to have a connectivity issue in between our partnership. So that means that we will need some kind of land planning. So I'm not sure if it's going to be through GIS or which kind of tool we will use on mapping, but at the end of the day, we will need to create connected parts of green areas where these pollinators can actually survive. So there will be a need to plan this according to the connection of the countries, to the distances that the pollinators can travel. So yes, we obviously need the land planning for this matter.
It's just important that
Of course.
we understand the same thing when you mention land planning.
Yes.
What is it?
Yes.
Everybody here will perhaps have another definition of that. So
Yeah.
So that's
It's quite normal to have questions at this stage. I mean, and we're going to figure a lot of things during the process, obviously. But in my understanding, the land planning of it is important as to have, from the beginning, a good idea of how this connectivity is going to work. Yes, you wanted to ask?
Yes. We will need some time to gather all the information.
Of course.
I was just meeting with our landscape colleagues, etc. So
Yeah.
I was just wondering, can you provide us with some kind of a template or a framework of so we can provide you the information and structure?
Oh, yes, you will receive such, such templates on how to respond and exactly which questions to respond to and how. Yeah. No worries. Sure thing.
In order to specify what we mean about planning, well, there's some examples from the regions, from the countries, in order to, for example, if the situation is different in Belgium or in Slovenia or in municipalities, for example, maybe you can put this information over there just to define, to be able, our partners have these different aspects of just the.
Yeah, of course. That's why we have the transferability.
In which country, how they
Function, yeah. And how they give their, their premises. Yeah. And how they get their pass on where to build and where not. Yeah. That's why we get the transferability criteria as well, in order to see how each country and each partner functions and what they need in terms of access and permit granting. And that's why we need to see which of the best practices are going to be able to be transferred in another region, because obviously they have different rules and different, a different system. Make sense? Just a little bit? Okay. All right. Any other questions? No? Okay. I think we can proceed with the next one. This is you? All right. You are ready. Thank you.
So this is our task. It's the task of municipality of Mingas, best practices in promoting nature-based and green infrastructure solutions. The presentation outline is about our deliverables, methodology for best practices identification. After that, synthesis report will come, and at the end of this stage, activity timeline will be also set up. Implementation semester 2 is till November 25 to April 26. Methodology development including data collection. And then after that, we will have to do a final report on territorial data provided by partners. Methodology for best practices identification. The methodology will provide guidelines and tools for partners to document enabling measurements that have led to the expansion of the GI and ABS in their territories, and common challenges to promoting the identified GI and NBS through their policy instruments. Synthesis report. Synthesis report will include analyzing partners' contribution and evaluations, collection and compliance of partners' input. Here, Mingas will conduct an analysis of the input collected, presenting the good practices that have led to the expansion of GI and NBS. Juxtapose all findings and exchange written recommendations, mitigation strategies once territorial evidence is collected. And for the end is activity timeline. Just like I said, it's from December 2025. It's the beginning of methodology collecting, and then through January and February 26, it's partners input, and then it's the final stage. It's in March 2026. So very quick and short. Any questions? No? So this is it.
Next. Well, we're ready to proceed real quick with Baltic Coast. This time we're going according to the agenda. So far. Yeah, no surprises.
Should I do anything or something? Okay, someone is already managing. So yes, yeah. So activity number 5, exchange of experiences, how to expand those special protection and special conservation areas. Well, the system, procedures, and structure will be the same as already presented in activity 1 and 3. So nothing new, only some kind of highlighting what should be gained and what kind of input is expected from other partners. So yeah, the presentation outline is this more or less the same. So objectives, roles of partners, what kind of involvement is expected from each of you, and then what kind of deliverables will be prepared, and also time frame that we should stick for. So activity number 5. This activity is devoted to exchange experience, how we can extend those special protection and special conservation areas. And also we are thinking about this Natura sites. And regarding deliverables, we will have 2 of them. At first, we will prepare methodology, and then after we will gather all this information, we will prepare this final report with any kind of ideas and your particular information. How do you manage in your countries? And lucky for us, this is only semester 3. So we will begin only on in the next year, May 2026, and we'll proceed in month 6, this October 2026. So objective. So we should prepare this documentation of best practices, how to expand special protection areas and special conservation areas with the aim of how to establish this connectivity for pollinators, and and to improve conservation targets and related indicators. To manage this nature conservation efforts, and we will prepare this online questionnaire to receive information from you. How do you manage, and what are your experience, and what are your what are you doing regarding this? And then we will gather all this information and we'll prepare this final synthesis report, analyzing all those best practices and regarding our all roles in this activity, we will work in close cooperation with Promea, and also your involvement is expected during this methodology part. So we, in close cooperation, will prepare this methodology just to have clear overview what kind of information we can gather and what our experience and how to systemize all this information. And then we will collect all this good practices and know-hows, and we'll prepare this final report, where also we are expecting your involvement to make this review process, and and took the best that could be useful for each of us. And then deliverables, as I mentioned, there will be 2 deliverables. At first, we will work on this methodology, and then this final report that I already highlighted during my presentation. And timeline, yes, 3rd semester, we will start we'll focus our effort on those experience exchanges that has been already told, and after the year we will start with our activity, and yeah. So this was all from me. If there is any questions, there are. If not, thank you very much.
Comment. Data collection summer. It's also same for the first. Thank you. I saw that the data collection is anticipated for the summer. And I also, in the first presentation, that the same.
True,
It
you're
will be a
right.
challenge. I mean, because a lot of people are on the vacation and it's not easy
Understood.
to reach all people in some
Which is
short
expected,
periods.
yes. That's why we have, for instance, in activity number 1, for which I can reply to, that's why we have accounted for a couple of months so that partners will have time either in the first month or by the end of the second to provide their answers. So that's why, for instance, in activity 1, we have July and August, because in our case, for instance, in Greece, our vacation month is usually August, right? So we'll have the time to provide our information during July. Partners who will take their vacation in July will have time by the end of August to probably provide input. If not, we're always, communicating and contacting each other to find the best solution possible. But we do need to have a general time frame to make a good schedule for it, and we'll make the best of what we have, and if necessary, shift by a week or two the deadline for a partner who's away to provide their input. But it should be enough time, 2 months in one whole summer for people to provide input. And at least in my experience, it's not so time consuming, and it should be able to be enough as a time frame. Yeah. Thank you. Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Anything else? I think now that we have successfully reached the lunch break. Yay. Already. We would have to be back around 2:10, let's say. And we're ahead of ourselves. Good job. And we will continue after the lunch break with the stakeholders' involvement. And the first presentation will be about the stakeholder meetings, and following with the building workshops, the capacity building workshops. Are we all good? Shall we proceed to having some food? Yes. Yes, mine will be here as well. I think it's okay. Μπορούμε να αφήσουμε τους εξοπλισμούς εδώ. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yes, they're safe here. Okay, are we all set? Yes, yes. Wonderful. I think now we can agree that we enjoyed a really tasty lunch, and I hope we can still make it awake to the end of the sessions. We can proceed with the next presentation for the stakeholder meetings. This one will be held by Alexandros, by Promea. Floor is yours.
All right. Is everyone all awake and not full of food? And all right, yes. I will try not to make you asleep. All right. Well, it's a brief presentation about regional stakeholder meetings. As we saw in the morning, it's one of the basic activities of the exchange of experience. Regional stakeholder meetings is a vital task for every Inter-Euro project. Mainly, it's a way that each partner can engage, attract, and of course, make stakeholders informed about our project, and of course, to make them participate in the future events, especially the capacity building events. Here, Promea, within this activity, will provide you with a framework. It will be a document that will have some guidelines to facilitate the organization of your stakeholder meetings. It will include the purpose of these stakeholder meetings, how you are going to organize it, which tools, proposed tools, you're going to use, and of course, some techniques to engage stakeholders. A little bit formation. As you can see, the activity leader is the region of Peloponnese, which will have the monitoring of the whole activity, which the duration of this activity is the first 6 semesters, which is the core phase of our Pollinate project. The main objective, as I said, is to involve regional or local or national level stakeholders that are related to our Pollinate project, and of course, to provide them with information about our results and our outputs. The format of these meetings is physical meetings. Well, in case that you would like to bring or to invite a stakeholder that is really far away from your region, of course, you can organize this as a hybrid. I mean, the Inter-Europe has no any issues with that, but it's always good to provide the format of the meeting. I will tell you more about this later. The duration, as I said, is the first 6 semesters of our project. Each partner has to organize from 1 stakeholder meeting for each semester. So a partner has to organize in total 6 of those meetings. Some of information about our guide that we'll share with you, I think, within next month, during June, because it is really good to start organize these meetings. Either you will have it on June or July or in September. You will have these guidelines to facilitate with all the organization aspects. In this document, you will find, as I said, some overview of the activity. Will explain a little in general things about the stakeholders' engagement. You will find the stakeholder analysis. I mean, which stakeholders is important to engage and inform and invite. And of course, we have some moderation techniques and some ideas that will help you with this one. As for the activity, I think that I will pass this. How you can invite stakeholders. The one is that you are going to use your own network. I mean, your organization is linked with many other, I suppose, many other municipalities or regions or other agencies that maybe will be interesting in this meeting. So you will invite from your individual networking. Of course, you can always check from previous projects that you were implemented in your region. So maybe from their repositories or their reports, maybe you will be able to find some stakeholders that will be interesting in our project. And of course, you have always in mind that it's important to invite stakeholders that actually are essential for our project. I mean, they will get information and will build their capacity from our results from their capacity building events. And of course, they will try to influence if they are in the policymakers team or something that or stakeholders that are actually involved in the policy instrument in order to make these changes. So some of the dedicated steps that you will find also in the guidelines, it's really important to send some personalized invitations. I think in these guidelines we have made in the annex of this document, you will find some model emails or model invitations in order to facilitate with this activity. And of course, you have always time you should in this stakeholder meetings to be proactive and also to discuss and to have some dialogues with the stakeholders. You will have to give them the floor to express their opinion. And of course, after we have the first result of the project, to exchange this information with them. This is some tools that we are having our framework. I think whichever organization has been in any other Inter-Europe webinars, you will be maybe will be familiar with the Slido. This is a very good tool to also if you have online participants, they can use these tools. I will not remain on this. You will find on the document. This is proposed tools, of course. If any other organization have some other practices, it will be good to share it with us, and of course to use their own way. This is not a mandatory to use this, but I think they are very good. I mean, interactive tools that will help you with the organization. Also in our guidelines, you will find some topics and what you will be able to discuss on these stakeholder meetings. For example, the first stakeholder meeting, and because it's the beginning of the project, we don't have any, results yet, but you could start with, organize and invite the first team of the stakeholders to give them information about the current situation in your region, about the pollinators, and of course, what is, if they have any issues or they would like to discuss. So take this information as for the first semester. And here is the activity timeline. I have made a mistake here. This is only for the first semester. This is a timeline that we are thinking that we have ready the guidelines by the mid of June to share it with you. We will share with you the document. We'll give you a couple of days just to review it, and if you have any ideas or comments or something that you are not agree with, to discuss it, and then we'll make it final, and then we'll have this as a reference point, these guidelines to facilitate with you with the stakeholder meetings. During June, September, you'll have to organize the first stakeholder meeting, and by October, you should make your summary report. In the guidelines, in the annexes, we'll have you a specific template. This template will have some specific questions and some boxes in order to take all the information that derived from the meeting to put it on a summary paper, because this information is also important, I think, also for the lead partner, because in every progress report they have to, provide information about the meetings, about what kind of meeting each partner organized. So you will find this template, and it is also important to complete this template where will you provide also information about the participants, the format of the meeting, etc. So in order to have also proofs that each partner organized their meeting. So that is it from me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. As I said, we'll share with you around mid-June these guidelines, and I hope that you will find it useful, and I think that you should review it, and if you have any ideas, please come back with any ideas or any comments in order to incorporate it or our guidelines. If you have any other questions, feel free right now or in the afternoon. I don't know. That is for now.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. We can proceed. My turn. Excellent. Okay. Let's come back to the activity 2 that we mentioned earlier as well, titled Workshop on Biodiversity Anticipatory Planning in View of Climatic Alteration Patterns. Now, again, the lead of the activity is the region of Peloponnese, and let's dive into it. We will go over the activity and what it entails, quickly go over the objectives and what we're looking for in this activity. We will see what are the foreseen deliverables, and this will include an input paper and a summary report. And of course, we'll look into the timeline and when and what should be delivered. Now, obviously, the activity will take place during the first semester from May until October, as we mentioned earlier, entailing a virtual workshop with an input paper provided beforehand and a summary report delivered right after. Now, the general objective of the activity is to provide support to partners in order for them to prioritize policy measures in terms of giving different forecasting of environmental scenarios. And this would entail, for example, the shifts in terms of the blooming seasons and the limitation of water reservoirs, as well as invasive alien species introduction and preventing them from entering the ecosystem. Of course, detecting them early in advance, eradicating what is not in the favor of the pollinators, and managing the established populations. As mentioned, the foreseen deliverables will be an input paper regarding the interregional workshop on the biodiversity anticipatory planning and a summary report following the conducted virtual workshop when it comes to policy measures integrating pollinator protection into all partners' climate resilience pathways. Now, the input paper, which comes first, will allow us to get a bit more of a thematic background when describing forecasting scenarios, and partners will be delivered with a methodology. And the input paper will delve into key factors that affect the well-being of pollinators. So what are we going to prioritize? Which factors are important for their well-being? We will identify and estimate climatic projections in all territories of the partners, describe what kind of forecasting scenarios we're looking for, and the input paper will also provide organizational details for the workshop, and this could mean, for instance, first and foremost, the agenda and what we will talk about in the workshop, so to allow us to organize ourselves a little bit in advance. Now, once the workshop is conducted, the summary report will entail an analysis of what has been discussed and the key lessons learned during the workshop. And this will also include what the partners have presented, what they have brought to the table, their contributions, their proposals, examples, and everything that has been discussed. Also, the best approaches that have been brought forward will be summarized based on the different forecasting scenarios in order to prioritize our policy measures depending on these environmental scenarios that we will provide. And of course, again, my opinion, but the most important part is the provision of policy recommendations in order to integrate the protection of pollinators and integrating this aspect into our climate resilience pathways in all of the countries. So the timeline for this, since we're still in the first semester, the region of Peloponnese will make sure to provide the partners with input paper for this activity late June. I don't think this will go into the first days of July, but just for safety is there. This will allow us enough time to go through the input paper, understand what it is we're looking for, and conduct the virtual workshop where the host is the region of Peloponnese again. This was allowed time in September 2025, and it's going to, again, give us some time to go through all partners' contributions and input, and give us enough time to prepare the summary reports by October. And again, we do appreciate all inputs to be given in a timely manner so we can have enough time to go through all the data. And yeah, I think this is it for activity 2. Let me know if you have any questions. We're good. Okay, excellent. Okay, I think we can go on. Drente is up with activity number 4. Alexandros, are you the one presenting it? Yep.
All right, hello again. All right, we'll talk about the second workshop of our Pollinate project that is foreseen to implement the second semester. This is a brief description and presentation of this workshop. We'll have more time in the next months to discuss on the details about this, and of course, Professor Den will organize this workshop. The title of the workshop is that Professor Den will organize dedicated workshop on effective policy initiatives to engage agri-food, tourism, and forestry value chains in efforts to address pollinator decline. As we said earlier, these sectors are directly involved in the pollinator decline and are they need to make some bold moves in order to address and to make better the biodiversity terms regarding pollinators. So deliverables are the two basic deliverables, as you have seen already in the other workshops. The input paper, which will provide some thematic background and some good practices regarding these effective policies. And of course, at the end of this, in the regional workshop, a summary report with all the recommendations and all the results that the discussions through partners and stakeholders. And this is important again, these workshops, it's important to bring its partner, bring its stakeholder or stakeholders in order to be able to take this information, take the good practice that we might see on the workshop or we might discuss, and take it back to their regions. The duration is, as I said, in the semester 2. It's from November 25 to April 26. The more specific dates we will see later. The basic aims of these workshops will be to increase partners' capacities in order to be able to support regional SMEs in the sectors that we said earlier, as agri-food, tourism, and forest sectors, and to make them aligned, to support them in aligning their activity with pollinator protection. Of course, this could be used of some incentivize SMEs into using these pollinator-friendly practices. So there will be some motives in order SMEs to be able to use this to integrate or to adopt pollinator-friendly practices. And of course, there will be guidelines in order to partners exchange views and to jointly work on these policy initiatives. A little more about the input paper. The most information will be on thematic background and thematic focus, which will be some optimal policy practices for agri-food, tourism, and forestry in SMEs. There will be some identification level case studies from different regions and countries. And of course, there will be a description of best practices and cases to avoid. Again, some examples from different countries will be the main theme of this input paper. And of course, some organizational operational guidelines in order to for the organization of this workshop. Again, as a workshop summary report, this summary report will present, but mostly analyze all the contributions and discussions that will be happen in this workshop. Also, any proposals and examples regarding policy measures to make the SMEs adopt sustainable pollinator practices. And of course, summary of these best examples that may be presented in this. Again, from this workshop, we'll have some results and recommendations that we will be able to use. Basically, all partners will be able to use also in their stakeholder meetings. So this summary report will facilitate all this to gather all this information derived from this workshop. The activity timeline is something like this. I don't know, Tina, is that okay with, I mean, I think as a consortium, we will discuss this on a later stage, but I think the info paper will be on December. And February will be the organization, and the summary report will be some around April, well, regarding the implementation of the workshop. But we'll have more time to discuss, and I think that Province of Denmark will have more specific dates to okay. All right. Yeah. I think
Sure, it's just an indicative timeline, and obviously rearrangements can be made. It's just to have a general time frame.
I think that is it. I said we'll have more time to discuss in this later. Also, the activities for semester 2. I mean, it's on the next semester, so we'll have time. But this as an initial information. And I think when we have the FreeCam, I mean, all the partners will have to upload these presentations in order to be able, all of us, to have this information. That's all. Do you have any question? I mean, have the content or nope?
Okay.
Let's move
Thank
it.
you. Thank you very much. We have now Baltic coasts on the schedule for activity 7.
Now it's my turn. And yeah, we are responsible for activity 7. And it's a workshop on pollinator habitats restoration in brownfield sites and areas affected by natural disasters. And duration is in semester 4 from November 2026 till April 2027. And there are 2 deliverables, similarly as in other actions, input paper and summary report. And we will develop the input paper, and then we will share it with partners to get input from all partners. And after this input paper, there will be organized a workshop. We will organize workshop, hopefully in Riga, in Latvia. And we are expecting that all partners will participate in this workshop. And after that, we will draft the summary report of the workshop. Objective of the input paper, I think it's how to organize this workshop, what will be the content of this workshop, what are the partner insights and thematic blocks, background for the workshop, also organizational details for the workshop. And we hope that, the partners will share their practices in this brownfield sites, areas affected by natural disasters, highly contaminated brownfield sites, and also contaminated agriculture soils, and give instructional guidelines and indicative agenda for the workshop. It's the aim of the input paper. But workshop sessions indicatively will focus on territorial ecosystems interactions, optimal practices on brownfields and agriculture soil restoration, differentiated restoration plans per type of natural disasters, restoration resource allocation practices and monitoring protocols, synergies with competent authorities, and optimal ways to incorporate restoration measures in territorial plans. Summary research will give like a synthesis of workshop, what presentation and analysis of the main inputs, contributions and views of the participants, and proposals and examples on enabling policy measures to improve pollinator habitats restoration, summary of the best examples. Yeah, and it's planned that input paper will be indicatively ready in November 2026. But I think that we must consider about workshop if it's in Riga, in Latvia, in January 2007, because we have also associated partner, Sēsis municipality, which is a very nice municipality near by the Nature 2000 site, and with good experience in good examples of pollinator case studies, measures in urban areas, brownfield areas. So we have something to show you, but in January there is no vegetation in Latvia and Riga, and it's not maybe the best time to visit Latvia, especially to see pollinator habitats. So I think somehow maybe we can consider to one or other side. Yeah, but the summary report after the workshop, yeah, of course, it will be implemented. That's yeah. So yeah, that's about workshop on habitat restoration and brownfield sites and areas affected by natural disasters. Yeah, we haven't in Latvia large experience in these areas affected. We have not a lot natural disasters, only flooding, but it's not so not affecting very much habitats, pollinator habitats. And yeah, some fires in forests, but also not very expanding. How to say?
Okay.
So we are hoping on that you will add value in workshop from our partners.
It'll be interesting to see how you cope with everything in your country as well, Bill.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
But
let me just quickly ask, there is a coffee break on the agenda. Should we make it like super quick, like a 5-7 minute break for coffee, restrooms, and shall we quickly come back? So after the coffee break, we have another 3 presentations. Skip it entirely then. Is everybody okay with skipping? I know. I'm just asking for your opinion because it's already on the agenda. So if it's, yeah, we proceed then with no coffee break. Excellent. Okay. Then you stay where you are.
Yeah. So that's why I'm staying here.
No, I saw that. Wise girl. Okay, activity 9 then. We proceed with you directly.
Yeah. The second workshop Baltic Coast is responsible for is establishing an operational framework to collect, validate, and use pollinator data in biodiversity governance. And yeah, really, this is workshop we are hoping a lot because especially in Latvia, we have problems with this pollinator data collection. Not problems, but we haven't pollinator strategy, we haven't pollinator plans, we have good case studies, examples at regional and municipal level, but actually like data collection is a challenge in Latvia in pollinator area. So yeah, we have only few scientists which are specifically working with bees, bumblebees, and such type of pollinators, wild pollinators. Yeah, and activity overview. Yeah, we will host this workshop, and also we will develop input paper and lessons learned report. And it will happen in semester 5 in May 2027, October 2027. And the objectives is establish an operational framework in partners management mechanism to collect, validate, and use pollinator data in biodiversity governance. Then support partners to enhance data-driven biodiversity governance. Identify and overcome common challenges. Address operational requirements and principles. Yeah, that's we really need. And input paper, yeah, we will develop input paper and share with our partners, asking for input and comments and etc. And lessons learned report after the workshop. input paper will provide thematic information on challenges in partner countries regarding pollinator data availability, quality, and compatibility. Digital tools that facilitate pollinator data collection as remote sensing and sensors and others. Pollinator data collection and validation techniques. Yeah, also organizational guidelines for the workshop. And it's planned that sessions will address, as I said, data collection, validation techniques, and digital tools, and operational requirements and principles to establish the framework in their own territories. And yeah, you can see all these topics which workshop will include. And of course, lessons learned report identify and present the key topics discussed during the workshop and outline some best examples, requirements, and principles in partner countries. Yeah, and it's planned that all this framework must be somehow implemented in policy instrument. I think it's the main result of the project, that it must be incorporated in policy instruments promised in proposal. So it's how these topics or targets, how we will implement, which topics we will implement in these policy instruments is early identification of future pollinator threats, support of the monitoring activities, determination and budget allocation, promotion of biodiversity financing, and pinpointing areas of policy intervention. So it's a quite important workshop we see. So yeah, also as you see, input paper, workshop, and lessons learned report. How to integrate it in policy documents promised in proposal. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the audience? Anything? No. All righty. Thank you very much. Shall we proceed with activity 10, the workshop on mitigating the impact of light pollution? Is Drenthe Alexandros, you'll do us the honors? Yeah. From the Netherlands.
I promise you will not see me so many times in the future, just like today. I promise. So this is another workshop. Many works and study visits in this Pollinate project. So I guess we'll see each other many times, and this is good, wonderful, of course. This is the presentation overview. It's more or less like the information that we share with the previous workshops, an activity overview, the aims, the deliverable structure, and of course, at the end, activity timeline. Well, the activity timeline will be just semester 5 because it's in 2 years from now, and we will see what will be the circumstance at that level. But have in mind that this workshop will be organized semester 5. So, and it will be a workshop on mitigating light pollution, especially artificial light at night, which is a major issue for the pollinators. For humans, something good because we have light and we're able to drive at night. But of course, this light many times is not so good for pollinators. And so some of the aims of this workshop is that we will discuss and we will delve into some practices and policies that will mitigate artificial light at night, which, as I said, especially affects the nocturnal pollinators, special beetles and moths, and etc. Of course, we'll this workshop, when along with the stakeholders, we will discuss and we will identify some sustainable, and we'll promote, of course, some sustainable night lighting principles to curb lighting pollution. We will try to manage, to be and to clear safety as well as efficiency, in order to be able to protect biodiversity. Of course, one of the biggest aims is to mitigate the impact on nocturnal pollinators, and as a final aim is, as all of the previous workshops is to identify and exchange best island practices, which is artificial light at night practices. Will specific focus on this aspect, which I find very interesting. And so some information that the input paper will have is that, of course, we will provide, Professor Dan will provide information about the artificial light at night on nocturnal pollinators. We'll have some information about the sustainable lighting principles, some good practices that promote safety and efficiency, of course, because we need the lights at night, but we also have to take care about the night species and especially nocturnal pollinators. Always will be information on how regions will be able to put some limits or some thresholds, to be more accurate, on the artificial light, and depending on their local biodiversity sensitivity. As you know, different regions, different situations, so each region and municipality will have to define or to see what are the appropriate thresholds of this intensity of this artificial light. And of course, some ideas and good practices, best practices to promote dark infrastructure, which is very important for the nocturnal pollinators. By the end, there will be some organization guidelines and operational information about the agenda, and I think maybe there will be some, I don't know, templates to invite stakeholders. I think something like this. And of course, the workshop summary paper, which will include and incorporate all the good practices, all the good information that will be discussed during this workshop. Especially focus will be in integrating plans, lighting master plans to regional investment plans, which will be a good idea, especially if some specific stakeholders will be joined in this workshop. And of course, the adoption of intelligent lighting and promote the infrastructure, as we discussed earlier in the input paper. This is an indicative timeline. I said this is on May 2027, so I guess we have pretty much time, and Professor Derwood has pretty much time to organize. And when we finally go to semester 5, I think we'll have information. But this is more or less an indicative timeline to have, because I think that we'll have some other workshops also in semester 5. So it will be nice to have, an idea when this specific workshop will be organized. I think that's all. Do you have any questions, or feel free to this, and I think Professor Dan will come with more information when the time comes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we're pretty quick this afternoon. All right. Last but not least, activity 11 by province of West Flanders, living labs to engage communities in biodiversity governance.
Hello from my part. Activity 11 links closely to activity 9. It's in fact an adding towards data pollinator collection, where in activity 9 we regarded it as a whole. In activity 11, we will focus specifically on how we can engage communities in data pollinator collection. You could call it citizen science, as you know, it's a bit more concrete, I think. Yeah. This is a slide you probably feel, haven't I seen it before? But it gives an overview of what I will tell you. Terms like input paper, final summary report, you've heard them many times, and we will address this activity with the same structure as other activities in this specific project. Timing-wise, this is an activity which will take place in semester 6, which is way ahead of us. We will have had many meetings up to that time. So semester 6 is in between November 2027 and April 2028. I don't want to imagine how old I will be at that time, but I think 3 years older than now. Deliverables, an input paper, and a summary report. Terms you know by having listened to previous descriptions of activities. So more in specific description of activity 11. This is not a workshop as an activity, so each one of you will be expected to organize somewhat of a living lab. And it's about engaging civilians, regional groups in data pollinator collection, of data collection about pollinators better. What groups could that possibly be? Here are mentioned veterinarians, field practitioners, civilians, why not? Then it's becoming citizen science, which would be a very fun thing in data pollinator collection. So aim of living labs, the living labs aim to bolster the participatory character of the operational framework established by partners in Activity 9. As I explained to you earlier, this links very strongly to Activity 9. And it's about the challenges of citizen-contributed data. Citizen science, it links very strongly with that specific goal. The input paper, which we will provide you in the timing I will explain to you later, provides you with a thematic background. What is this about? What are specific challenges of this way of producing data? What groups could we possibly try to mobilize in trying to get specific data? What digital tools are there to be developed or probably even exists as we speak to collect such data? By what protocols could we guard privacy rules which apply to all of us when data is distributed towards us? And do they exist open data sharing platforms which we could perhaps use during these efforts? This should result in operational guidelines, which should help you in organizing your own living lab. What could or would be your objectives for your specific project? What specific details could we provide you with from existing cases in other contexts? What guidelines could we provide you with when organizing your own territorial living labs? And what design or template could we provide you with for the same efforts organizing your own living labs? In this point, it's interesting to remark that we have, in fact, as a province, have another Interact project running specifically on pollinators. Tine is the project leader on a project which is called Polyconnect. Polyconnect, as the term states it, focuses on connectivity for pollinators, so it links very strongly. And the whole idea of citizen science data collection is in fact a bit of an overlap with this specific activity, so which is very handy from our point of view. We will be able to add in experiences from the Polyconnect project, which will in fact proceed this specific activity. And it will be a nice win-win situation to have the experience from the other Interact projects to add it in this specific Interact project. Final summary report, I will summarize by saying we will try to collect all your findings. We will try to express all the lessons learned. We will try to find out which specific groups you have tried to mobilize and what success you had or hadn't. Hopefully not the latter, but we will see about that. The timeline, as I discussed, the input paper, you will be able to expect it from our part in December 27. Your own organization, your own efforts to mobilize groups in data gathering will be for the 2028 period, and a final summary report will be for March 2028. Far future, but we should get prepared in making things happen. Okay, does anyone have a question for me while I'm standing here? No? Thank you.
No, I think you presented it quite nicely. Thank you very much. This one was the last one for today. We have a bit of free time until the social dinner begins. This is at 8:30 tonight. It's at a restaurant called Trilogia. It's quite close, nearby the hotel, walking distance. We will either meet here or we can guide you if you have taken a stroll beforehand on how to find it.
Trilogy. Trilogy, yes.
So it's right when you exit the hotel on the right-hand side, walking distance on your right. It should be around 300 meters, 500 meters away. 8. I was mistaken. I stand corrected. So it's 800 meters away. Still, I think, walking distance. But yeah, either we meet there or we walk there all together. Pick and choose. This was it for today. We will continue tomorrow morning. Registration opens at 9:15, lasting till 9:30. I will have made sure that we won't stall tomorrow morning. And the day we plan to have sessions until approximately 12:30. And then we will close the kickoff. I already have our beautiful photo in my records. I can share that with you. And that was it for today. Thank you very much for participating and giving great presentations, y'all. Thank you very much. Yeah, sure thing. Yes, we have the presentations explaining all steps. I think, yes, you mentioned. The partnership agreement? I
don't know. It's better to collect all and then, yes. Yes.
Send the signed documents to us, and then once we have the signed of the government, we can integrate.
In one book, yes.
Vasiliki, so Promea collects, or should I?
No.
For me to do it? Yeah. Okay. So I can collect, just to set a quick resume. We collect the signed documents from everybody who has them available. I can collect them from everybody who has them available. And then Province of Drenthe can make sure to send us. Yeah. Exactly, next to the bananas. And then you can send them to us and we can make sure to deliver the hard copies to everyone to have them as a package with all signatures combined, yeah? Okay, so I'll pass by and have the signed copies from all of you. And then I'll make sure to deliver the hard copies once I have them all together. Yeah, sure thing. The hard copies. Yeah, sure thing. I can send also the scanned document of all signed ones. Yeah, sure thing. Okay. Thank you very much.